And good morning again. It is 8:10 now. We have seen some weakening of Hurricane Irma, so there is some good news. But the outer rain bands are already moving across South Florida from Miami across the southern part of the state, a lot of that of the Everglades, but also the Keys. Now, the center of circulation is within range of the Miami radar, and the eye is right over the coast of Cuba. As a matter of fact, it's been over northern Cuba, not really inland very far, but right along the coastline since late last night, and that has helped to weaken the storm further. Winds are of 130 miles an hour, so it is a weak Category 4 storm, but still a very powerful storm. And the outflow, in other words, in the upper atmosphere, the storm still has room to grow, has been very, very impressive as we've been watching it. Storm itself is kind of basically hugging the coast and will begin that turn northwest and north during the day today. Now, again, an exact precise landfall is impossible to say, but based on the track from the models and from the Hurricane Center now, the Keys will get probably a strike first before it continues along the west coast, possibly making a second landfall near Tampa, and then continuing to move northward over the state and quickly starting to weaken. Now, with the position of this storm as we get into later tomorrow, but more so Monday and Tuesday, it starts to reinforce our northerly flow and keeps that good feel air around for a little while longer. This is a look at the wind radii, the wind forecast for the storm. Red are your hurricane force winds, and then orange and yellow are your tropical storm force winds. So South Florida already starting to feel near near tropical storm force winds, and will continue to do so through the day. Notice that Miami is clear of any hurricane force winds. However, southwest Florida from the Keys to Fort Myers and then toward Tampa, if it does stay more inland, a lot of those hurricane force winds may start to quickly weaken and kind of fall apart before the storm gets up toward Tampa. And then as it continues northward, that wind field will continue to fall apart as well. So winds will be weakening and won't see the devastation in northern Florida, but still packing quite a punch. Notice the clustering of our computer models now. And a lot of what's been interesting is that the computer models each run have been in great agreement as to exactly where the storm is going to go. But remember, we haven't seen a huge swing. Yeah, it started on the east coast and then has moved to the west coast, but that's still a pretty small margin of error considering it still is calling for a landfall in Florida. Hurricane warnings are up basically from the central or almost northern part of the state down to the Keys, and a hurricane watch is in effect for northern Florida, and the coast offshore Panama City is under a tropical storm watch because of the winds that will be increasing there. Quick look at the computer models. GFS moving inland south of Tampa Bay as it continues northward. The European model actually has the center of the storm well inland over Cuba, so that would be if the storm kept moving toward the west. However, that northward turn is happening during the day today, and here is why. Big upper low. You see this spin right here moving now into northern Louisiana and Mississippi. This feature is going to continue sliding down toward Florida. It's that feature that's going to start drawing Irma northward. Computer models have been in very good agreement of when that is going to start moving, and because this is now deepening toward almost the Gulf Coast, it will start feeling the influence, or Irma will start feeling the influences of that upper low and being drawn northward today. 73 degrees outside right now. Feels fantastic when you walk out the door. Dew points are up a little bit in the 60s, so our temperatures on the North Shore were not able to get into the 50s during the overnight hours. Clear skies outside right now, and it's going to be a beautiful day today with plenty of sunshine. Highs in the 80s, lower to mid 80s. Normal highs 89 degrees. Upper 50s and low 60s on the North Shore. Tonight, south of the lake will be right around 70 degrees with clear skies. That good feel air hangs around through the weekend. And as we start into next week, a little bit of the Gulf moisture begins to make a comeback by the end of next week.